Hello and welcome to Rolling with Two. I'm Will, and with me as always is the one who does all her stargazing with her finger.
Sarah?
Because we're doing a two-player perspective and accessibility for Point Galaxy.
Oh, okay.
If you're curious about our opinion, check out our other video, Rolling with Reviews Point Galaxy. Sarah, tell us a bit about this game.
Okay. Point Galaxy is a card drafting, sequence building, and set collection game. On your turn, you will draft any two cards and place them in your expanding galaxy. There are a variety of ways to score points, and whoever maximizes their opportunities best wins. Okay, Will. So how does the game change for two players?
So for two players, there is no bot.
No.
Is there a solo?
I think so.
You know, we never looked at it. There might be a bot for a solo, but
There might be.
for two players, not a bot.
No bot.
The number of cards you will use and the number of rockets, which are the little cardboard chits in here, those change based on player count. Generally, the number of cards are 26 per player plus 7. So like 59 for a two-player game, and then just goes up from there. And then some player counts will share the same number of rockets, and then as you get past, I think, 3, they start going up. But those are the changes for two players.
And basically the deck is the timer, so give everyone 13 turns of play.
With getting 2 cards on each turn.
Right. So issues at the two-player count is because the number of cards taken out are random, and a lot of cards are taken out at the two-player count.
81, I believe.
Yeah. So this basically could mean that if you start on a certain strategy, it could fail and you won't know until it's failed. You know, it's just, you could be like, oh, I'm going to go for this, this, and this. And you start, and then cards that you need to continue it just never show up. Now, granted, at higher player counts, you could see them on someone else's turn, and so you still don't get access to them. But they just literally won't even be in the deck.
Yeah. It'd be to no fault of your own.
Right.
Your strategy failed.
Right. You just picked the wrong path to go down because you just ran into a wall.
Yes. A space wall.
A space wall. But what it does well is you can slightly count on the planet cards still being there on your turn, because you're going to have 6 planet cards in the display. And those are basically the static ones. And so the other player will take 2 of them, which is going to leave you 4.
But they might take some of the face down cards, which are 3 decks.
Right.
Because that's a different type of card. But you can take either face down or the planet face up.
Right. So the backs of the cards are different things like suns and wormholes, moons. Those are ones that you generally cannot rely on because there's only 3 of those. So if your opponent takes 2 of the 3, or takes any of the planet cards, they're going to flip down and flip over.
Yeah. So they're more volatile than the planets.
So that's the thing, is you can slightly at least count on the planets maybe coming back around if you've got several that you would work for your strategy. The other thing is if you're an aggressive player, because there's only one other person, you can keep track of what they're doing and deny them more efficiently. Not always the best route to go, but if it comes down to a card choice between this planet or that planet, and you can see that that planet would work better for them, you could take it. That kind of thing. At a higher player count, there's too many things going on that you just can't even...
Yeah, you're just better off playing for yourself.
Right. That's pretty much it for the two-player experience, both positive and negative. Okay. So,
accessibility.
Okay, the instructions. This is a small box, so the instructions are small. Text is small. The diagrams are small. Sometimes the diagrams aren't exactly next to the thing they're describing or what you read.
Yeah.
It's just slightly off kilter.
On one thing we were reading about a particular instance of rules, and they're like, oh yeah, we got it. And then they got into something more specific, and then they showed a diagram. And we're like, oh, well, I'm glad they have the diagram, because that second thing sounded much more specific, and it went back to the first thing, which was on the other page.
Yeah. So the diagram should have been on the left page with the original beginning part, but I guess due to whatever spacing issues, it was on the right side, not next to it.
Yeah.
So just some of the layout got a little confusing, and like I said, small text. I have old aging eyes. So just not the greatest. I'll have to see if they're posted on Board Game Geek, because at least if you get a digital copy of it, you can zoom in if it's a high enough resolution, which a lot of them are nowadays.
Yeah.
That might be an easier way to look at
Or
it.
if you have the right software, you rip it apart and rebuild your
There you go.
rebuild your rules.
So the planet icons, to do colorblind accessibility, they just did different types of swirls and circles and things, which is fine. We've never been a huge fan of patterns as a way for colorblind accessibility, only because they don't mean anything. There's no meaning, and it's hard to keep that in your mind.
Yeah.
Also, there's no that's not on the reference card. Like, there's a reference card, but there's 6 different planet icons. They're on the back of the rules, but that should have been on every single reference card so that it would be easy to match it up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't get zigzag is different than swirl. You know, it's a swirl planet. It means that color.
And then that one's the spotted one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, I'm glad that they try to do colorblind accessibility, but again, because a lot of people don't want it to be, I don't know, in your face, colorblind accessibility, they go with patterns and other things that just may not mean as much or stand out as much. The other thing that can get you thrown off is that the art for the planets is inspired by the icon, but they're different. And then you have multiple different planets in the same color grouping. So again, it's just the planet's larger, so it's the thing you're going to see more, but you can't go by that for colorblind accessibility. I forgot where we are. Okay. Also, this is again going all with this hybridization. Then the moon, they're hybrid icons. It's a very thin sliver of a moon because everyone goes with a crescent moon to represent the moon.
Oh, we should say that the moons can only be placed next to certain planets. So that's why the planet color is important to moons.
Right. Some of them are just next to one, and those are easy enough. There's enough of the moon that you can see it, and then the large art is just that color. But the problem gets to be when they do the hybrid ones, the sliver of the moon is really hard to see the half split of the 2 color patterns. And then the art for the planet is just bizarre how they mushed the 2 colors together. So that's not helpful really at all. So I'm not saying this is impossible to play if you have colorblind accessibility issues, because all the cards are open information. So if you can't tell it apart, someone at the table hopefully can. It's just, these are things that, this is why doing a pattern rather than a distinct symbol is not so good.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it for that part. The only other accessibility issue we saw is really the cognitive overload. If those have played Point City and Point Salad, those were a little bit lighter games than this. Because this has so many different scoring metrics, it can be a bit overwhelming and cause analysis paralysis.
Yeah. Of course, it's a good problem in the fact that there's so much in here that,
yes.
Oh, well, all that is useful. So that's where the analysis can come in.
Right.
It's like, well, I am spoiled with lots of good choices. I don't know what the best good choice is. And because cards are taken out,
Yeah.
you're never going to know what the best good choice is.
Exactly.
You're just going to have to play it.
Yeah, and that's the biggest challenge, is you don't have enough information to know which one is actually best when you know you can make points 3 different ways, but you don't know which one you're going to be able to continue to develop. Oh, sorry, one last thing. There are a lot of cards in the game, so you will have a lot of shuffling to do. That's really it. Okay, what it does right, so thankfully for the research icons, they put a letter next to each icon, although I have to admit for this one, they chose unique icons.
Yes.
But we didn't have, it made it so easy for us because I didn't have to try to come up with names or words for all the research icons. I literally just said, this is research A, this is research F. So simple, so straightforward.
Yeah, and that's useful because some suns and some of the rocket tokens will call out, it's like, well, you'll score this many points if you have 3 of the same type of research. So it's much easier to look down and go, oh, well, I have 3 A's. So that's worth some points to me already. Rather than, okay, that's a microscope, that's That's an DNA strand, maybe. You don't have to figure that out. You can just look at the letters and know, like, okay, I have these numbers that are the same, these that are different.
Right. For vision accessibility, not having to find words to name icons just makes it so much easier, because it's literally there. It's a letter. So that just makes it easier. Some of the card text and icons are large and readable, so that's a good thing. The weird part, but it's not important, the names of the planets are in an almost unreadable font. They're funny names and weird names, but...
Like boop.
Boop. But on the other hand, there's ones where like the X, the K, the H, the R barely look different. And so you really have to take a close look at what they are. But on the other hand, there's usually so much going on that you're not paying attention at all to the names of the planets because they don't help you, because they're all unique.
Yeah.
So you're more interested in a purple 5 than you are whether this is Boop or Giwaka.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
I guess the fun of that is once it's in front of you and it's not your turn, you can try deciphering the names of your planet.
There you go. And lastly, the good thing about this is all open information. So hopefully if you're having any issues cognitively, colorblind, or any other accessibility issues, someone else at the table can help you figure it out, because there's nothing hidden in this game.
Right.
Okay, conclusion.
2 players, would you recommend?
Yes, this was highly enjoyable. I think the only thing I didn't like was taking out so many cards, but on the other hand, it's an improvement from Point Salad, because Point Salad, you had to take out exact counts of each vegetable, which made setup much more tedious, but it also made some of the gameplay more reliable.
Right, right.
So,
but they do shove a lot of things in here so that whatever you do will score you points.
Yes, it will. And you're in the same boat with the other person. This is the universe that you have to choose from.
It just happens to be a crummy universe.
Yes.
All right, accessibility.
Mostly, yes. Colorblind is probably going to be the biggest challenge here.
Yeah, and it's Color Planets, really.
Yeah.
They did do an effort to make it happen. So it's like it's not that there isn't anything there. It's just you might still struggle with it.
I think the moons are really going to be the hardest part. I think generally speaking, you can tell the other ones apart. Also, if you have them in front of you, you can compare them. So if you are, let's say that you've got a sun that has 2 different patterns, you can pick up the card that you're looking at from the row, compare it to the sun, and if it matches, then that might be the thing you want to put in that column, because usually it's like 1 point for a pair of these 2 things. So it is there. It just takes a few extra steps, I think, to figure it out.
Okay.
That's really it.
All right. And that'll do it for us. And Sarah, in this game, are we the gods, or are we just in like a very advanced species that can shape solar systems?
Take your pick. Which way do you want to go? Do you want to go science-y or fantastical?
Which is which?
Good point.
All right, and why would you ever roll with just one when you can be
rolling with 2?
If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can reach out to us on the various social media platforms at
Rolling with 2, that's TWO. We're on Blue Sky, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For Discord, we have a channel on Tabletop Express. Check the show notes for the invite link.
If you have time, check out the other content Nanaman has found for you, because remember, he's rolling with you.